Hi, happy holidays. Welcome back to another video. It's still December. Clearly, it's still December and the month is going by really fast. I'm actually finding it a little difficult to keep up with how fast things are going and a little worried, honestly, that I may be wearing myself thin with all the things that I have to do. All the things that I plan to do and my day job and editing and making sure that the videos are coming out as close to schedule as possible. But I am a day off on putting out videos and I don't like that, so I'm going to try to fix that. But I need to do a little reprioritization of all the things that I want to do versus have to do. Yeah, and I also want to make sure that I am setting myself and my systems up for success for the month of January. Thankfully, the systems that I've put in place for that and that plan hasn't fallen apart. Things are still going on schedule. So I think right now the best course of action actually for me would be just to move the things that are not necessarily urgent for January. For example, a big one is working on the walls of my bathroom. That is not as urgent for me right now. So I'm going to move that to the middle of January, like the third week in January. I think that is the best time. And I'm going to focus more on things I need to work on right now. A huge one for me is finishing up the first episodes of the second season of my podcast, which I am restarting next year in January. And it is fun. I'm having fun prepping for that. But there's just so much to do. There's so much going on. Oh my God. How are you doing? I hope you are well. I hope the season is going great for you and that you are surrounded by love wherever you are. I'm sending you all my love. Yeah. Onto today's video though, I woke up really early today because I'm doing a revamp of my books. This is my bedroom. You see how many books that I have just sitting on there? Yeah, so those have been there for a couple of weeks, but I had a new bookshelf delivered and I put it together last night. So I'm going to move this into the living room. Right now, with the way things are set up, the bookshelves begin at the entrance of the apartment and stop halfway through here. And I have this large mirror on the other end of the apartment. So I want to move this away. I'm going to take the mirror away and I'm going to move the bookshelves this way. But because I don't want to have to reorganize the entire bookcases, I'm going to take the mirror out and I'm going to organize these two. So these two are going to be moved to the empty space over there, and so will the new bookcase. And I've taken measurements, so I'm pretty sure the plan is going to work and things are going to fit the way I think they're going to fit, or at least I'm crossing my mind, I'm hoping so. But the thing is, I still need to empty these two before I can move them because they are pretty heavy. And at the end of the day, I actually don't think there's any way I could have moved these two without having to do some little kind of reorganization, because I would be putting new things onto the shelf. So some things are going to be moved around a little bit, but I won't be doing the reorganization in this video. I just want to first move this. That is my priority right now because I need to tick that off my list before I can move on to the other things that I need to do on my list. In my mind, there are certain things that need to make sense and have to be organized in certain ways for other things to fall into place. Otherwise, I would just feel jumbled, I'm going through things a little out of order and then it just messes everything up. So I have about 2 hours until workday starts. I'm going to start taking the books off the shelf and see just how much I can do before I actually have to start work. Yeah. If you've seen my bookshelf reorganization video, then you probably already know that I arrange my books by genre and it's been working for me, but I'm also now getting to the point where it's getting harder and harder to track the books that I have that are specifically by just one author. And it's not becoming a minor issue because organizing by genre, I can easily find books by authors who I have a large or significant catalog of their books because they're all together. But there are some books that are getting harder and harder for me to find. Those are the books by singular authors because of how genres kind of cross each other and how one book can be in one genre. Basically, the point is it is getting a little hard for me to track my books. So now I'm actually thinking I might have to recatalog my books and arrange them by author instead. So that way, once I know the author of the book, I know exactly where to go to. But I've been looking into some cataloging videos to try to figure out what some of the potential downsides of that process might be, because that's not something that I have thought through fully. I don't know what the downsides to organizing by author would be, but I imagine it won't be that bad since that's what like libraries use. And this is something that I will be solving in the new year because it is not urgent at all, at least not for me. Okay, we've made progress. The bookshelves are empty and the books are here on my sewing table, and there are some beneath the sewing table and there are some on this side of the floor of the living room. All this happened in 40 minutes, which already makes me feel like I'm making good progress. I'm getting some of that anxious energy out of my body and don't know where it's coming from. I need to figure out where exactly the anxious energy is coming from this morning. But putting that aside, I have made good progress. I thought this would take about an hour plus. So under 40 minutes, I feel like that's good. I'm going to spend the rest of the hour moving things into the places that I want them to be. Okay, we have an exact fit. It fits like exactly in the spot. Barely an inch to spare. That's good. Success. I have about an hour, 50 something minutes to spare before I have to get to work or log in for work. So I'm going to get something to eat. It feels so good to actually like cross something off my list, especially something that I wanted to get done before work started. After work, I'm going to try to figure out how exactly I want to organize the books on the shelf in a more like efficient way. And I will document that, but that won't be in this video. And it also won't be today. I don't think I'll even be doing that until like next week because I just have so many other things that I have to do. But I am going to move the books from the floor onto the table so that way they're not in the way. But yeah, I feel good. This feels good. Okay. I am witnessing a mini miracle because for the past couple of weeks, actually, it has been so cold and the sun hasn't even been out. Like all through yesterday, it was ridiculously gray and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. I am going to say anyone who is like me, especially if you're a woman with my skin tone or darker, make sure you're getting your vitamin D supplements in because that made a huge difference in my life. I underestimated how much vitamin D I wasn't getting during the cold seasons and the effect that had on my physical and mental health. So if that's something that you aren't trying and you are in the cold, gloomy seasons like this, you should be getting a lot of it. We're not getting as much vitamin D as we should be getting. Made a huge impact on me. So I'm just putting that out there. More to the point of today, because the sun is out, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go and work not from home today, which is, harder on some days, again, because of the thing that I just talked about, like the weather is just kind of terrible. But I am taking advantage of today. So I'm going out, I'm going to work from home, and hopefully as things slow down in the day a little bit, I will finish up the book Real if I can. I thought I would be finished by now, but I had some emergency work dropped into my lap at work. So that has slowed things down for me a little bit. Also, today is extra exciting because I have an event that I'm going to later today. It is a live reenactment of the movie Kuch Hota, and I am so excited to see it. Oh my God, it is one of my favorite Bollywood movies ever. I mean, I think it's a lot of people's favorite Bollywood movies ever. That would be so much fun. I'm going with my friend. So after work, I will do some reading and then I will find my way into New York City. It's happening in Brooklyn with this company that I just heard about called Drunk Bollywood. And apparently it's a thing that they put on. So I'm really excited to see it. I think it would be so much fun. Yeah. So for a little OOTD. We've got the computer, we've got the books, have everything, boots on, coats on, ready to go.
could shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know. For all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. All in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't.
Everything. Music, dancing, and sports, and death, and neither. You may be wondering how I know all of this. I am but a humble Bollywood wife and diamond mogul. But the truth is, I was there. Cue flashback!
My goodness. Oh my God, what a show. What a show. It was amazing. It was so good. I hadn't been to a live show like that in such a long time, like something that felt like a play. I've been to concerts and like Broadway shows where like it's a huge production, but something like that small, that intimate, and mostly very culturally specific. It was fun. It was good. I'm so glad I went and I enjoyed myself. And I just kept thinking what a gift like Bollywood is and what a gift like filmmaking is in general. It was so much fun. But anyway, let's talk books. I'm going to try to give you a spoiler-free review of Rio, which I finally finished. First, after I finished Rio, I started reading A Holly Jolly Diwali. This is my current read. This is what I'm currently reading now. I'm on the third chapter of the book. It is on my TBR list for Christmas. I think I had mentioned that I was only reading 3 holiday-themed books for December. One was Holiday Romance, which I talked about 2 vlogs ago. And then there's this one, and the third one is A Winter Wish. So yeah, there's that. After I'm done reading this, the next book on my list is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, which, if you didn't know, is the #1 book on the New York Times 100 best books of the century. And I'm very curious to know what it is about this book that shot it to the top of the list. I am very curious. So I'm going to be reading that next. Just wanted to get that out of the way, and then we can get into the beautiful story that is Rio. What can I say about this book? What a gift Kennedy Ryan is. She really is so good, and she proved it again with this book. I'm going to be honest, it is not my favorite book of hers, but ranking her books or ranking my favorite of her books is like asking me to rank my favorite Beyonce album. It will change over time, and for me it's a very hard task. It's doable, but it's very, very hard, and whatever book ends up at the bottom of the list is not at the bottom of the list because it's not good. It's just at the bottom of the list because something else had to be above it. You know, that's how much I love her work. And I feel like a book being good is one thing, objectively or subjectively, but having a good experience while you're reading a book is an entirely different thing. Like, those are 2 different skills in my mind, because I've had really good reading experiences, like enjoyed reading a book that I think objectively is bad. Yeah, it's like watching a movie that you know is a bad film, but you had a good experience watching the movie, like it was an enjoyable experience. Yeah, those two things. But Real manages to be both. It's, in my opinion, a very good book, and I also had a blast reading it. It was such a good story. A little long, but definitely worth it. It combines all of my favorite things: reading, romance, and the art of filmmaking and storytelling. So the book is set in the world of like Hollywood and Broadway, and the story follows our female main character, Neva, who is discovered, like she gets the opportunity of a lifetime when she is discovered by our main male character to be the lead in a movie that he's making. And she is a powerhouse of a singer and an underappreciated actress at the time when she is found and cast. So they meet, she's cast, they're filming, they get to know each other, and then their connection deepens as the story starts to unfold and the relationship develops in the middle of, you know, potential industry scandal, personal family stuff. And our female main character is also battling an illness all throughout the book, which is already a lot of pressure, even if you didn't have a lot of things to deal with career-wise, you know, especially with the world watching. So there's a lot going on for her and in the book in general. And Kennedy Ryan is telling two stories at the same time because the character who our main character is playing in the film that is being made, her story is being told alongside the actual central story of the book at the same time. And it was so easy to get invested in these characters, in the world, in the story. I left the book wanting more of the other characters, like wanting to know what their stories are. And Kennedy Ryan is so good at drawing you into the world that she creates. She's so good at doing that. There is a slow burn in the relationship, which I think is good for the story because of the very specific context in which the romance is occurring. There is a very obvious like power dynamic between the two characters because they're working together. So for me, it makes sense. And in general, I'm not thrown off by the idea of a slow burn. I don't mind it as long as it serves the story and it's not time wasting. Like I don't like a slow burn just because, but I do like it in general. I don't mind it. And I especially like it when it serves the arc of the story that is being told. And then there's the yearning. She writes yearning so well. I think there is something so beautiful, and it's one of my favorite things about reading the romance genre is you yearning for the characters in the book as they yearn for each other, especially before they get together. Like I think it's so underrated. When it's done well, it can really make the story, you know? Full transparency, there are some times in the book where I cringed a little bit, but I think that's because of my own internal stuff with so much like declaration of love where I'm cringing, but I'm enjoying it. You know that feeling? I'm like, you know, just get over yourself. They are being loving and they are expressing their love and you are just being, you know, a namby-pamby, which is exactly what I was being. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was such a good book. I especially love that the stakes were high. I think sometimes in some romance novels, they try to say that the stakes are high, but you don't get that experience when you're reading the book of like, oh, I'm really, really scared that if you don't handle the relationship really well, this could blow up in all our faces, you know, and there are people's jobs at stake. There's a whole production at stake if the relationship itself isn't handled really, really well. So I love that the stakes were high. It made me more invested in how they handled the relationship, and the characters like making the choice to be together had to be an intentional one. They couldn't play around with it because the stakes were high, you know? So yes, I'm going to say it again. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. And with Real done, that's one book down, 7 more on my TBR that I haven't gotten to yet. I still don't know if I will get to the rest of them. I have less than 11 days left in the year. So for me, 7 books is ambitious, but I will try my best. Some books are just going to have to make it into next year, and that's fine. I'm grading myself. I will give myself a pass because I have other things to do. I'm still in the middle of, you know, rearranging my entire house. So yeah, there's that. I did want to quickly chat about planning for the next year. I know we are at the time of the year when you start thinking about how much you did, how the year went, how productive you were, how much of your list you were able to accomplish. I hope that you are taking into account all the good things that you did, all the things that you did accomplish, as well as the things that you thought you maybe didn't get to. I think that we, in general, have a habit of claiming to be self-aware. But most of the people that I know, myself included, who have described themselves as self-aware, have an easier time being aware of the negatives than the positive. And if you are more aware of the ways in which you quote unquote failed, friend, you're not self-aware, okay? It is just as important to count the ways that you showed up for yourself, whether it was successful or not. And to take it a step further, I'm going to say something from the bottom of my heart that I truly, truly believe. And I know may not be the most productive or most popular advice thing to say, but I mean it when I say that your life is not worthy because of what you were able to produce or because of what you have done or didn't do. It is perfectly okay if you did not meet all the marks that you set out to meet at the beginning of the year. You matter because you are alive and because you exist, not because of your labor. That is a lie that we've been told since birth, and we are continuously being fed. You know, there's nothing wrong with being productive. There's nothing wrong with setting goals. Nothing wrong with achieving those goals. You should achieve those goals, but that is not the reason why you are worthy of existence. You don't deserve less joy or less celebration because of some things that you didn't get to do. Okay, whether it was for lack of courage, lack of trying, you just, whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. The life that we're giving and our existence is a sacred gift. It's a very, very sacred gift, and you should treat it as such. And the gift implies some form of unconditionality, like it was given to you, like free. You know, you didn't have to work for it, which goes against everything that we're taught. But no, you don't have to work for it. I actually think that the most productive thing that you can do is accept that gift for what it is and work from that position. If that's something that you haven't been doing, I'm inviting you to release yourself of the self-criticism and the judgment and the shame. And for the next couple of days, whenever you're seeing this, just let it sink in, okay? If I didn't believe these words, I would not be here today. I would not be making videos today. I would have given up a long time ago because I just thought I had failed at it, and that meant it wasn't the thing that I was supposed to do. So it is a very, very helpful reminder, and I hope it brings you some comfort, just a little bit of comfort, okay? That you just give yourself permission to just be and to end the year in high spirits. I am sending you all my love and all the love that you so graciously and generously bestow on me when you watch my videos and comment and, you know, subscribe and like or do all the things. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Happy reading and happy holidays. Happy Christmas if you celebrate. Bye.